What is up, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Glass Half Full, on behalf of New York Revival. Little round three, day two reaction from your boy. Missing my boys El Jefe and Eli. They couldn't make it. Eli, good luck on your test, buddy. Jeff, good luck with babysitting because we're in it. We're in it, my man. Listen, we just want to do these little videos, just give us our feelings on the picks. Man, day two for Giants fans, it's hard not to get so damn excited over what happened. Joe Schoen, in my opinion, just hit it out the park. We had John Michael-Schmitz and traded up to get Jalin Hyatt. I mean, what else is there really to say? These are two top 30 visits that we had in to arguably take with first round picks initially, and lo and behold, the Giants, they take Deonte Banks in the first round, and then they're holding still. Like Joe Schoen, from all the reports and what he said, wanted to move up. He did not want to lose his guy John Michael-Schmitz, and then he waits, he patiently just falls right into our laps, there's not much to say about John Michael-Schmitz because he is just as rock solid a pick at 57 as you could possibly imagine. A for need and A for BPA. He just let's talk about him a little bit. He just looks the part. He's mean, he's tough, he's big, he's stout. He perfectly fits the team because he fits right in with being a mauler in the run game. He just got NFL ready, body ready. It's one of those picks where he's an older guy, but a center, he's more cerebral. He's been through it all. I kind of want my centers with more experience coming in, right? He's built already. Like I said, his frame's ready. He could take on these bull rushes, these big, powerful players that we're going to have to play in the NFC East. The Commanders, the Eagles, who had a phenomenal draft. Cowboys even. We had to get stronger up the middle, and JMS does a lot to solve that problem. Hopefully Josh Zudu can lock down one side of him. And then, listen, if Neal comes around, he progresses, you have arguably 4/5 of your line and all homegrown talent, and a veteran in Glowinski, who you hope you could scrap one more year out of him before you draft his eventual replacement. And again, John Michael-Schmitz, people were okay with him going at 25. Shout out our boys at New York Revival, but I know Dash was a big fan of draft, just getting his guy at center at 25 and just never thinking about it again for the next 5 years. You wait a little bit and you get him. Good things come to those who wait. You get him at 57. There's a couple of things that he could still shore up. He's got to get better with his hand placement, and a little bit better with his footwork. Right now, as is, if you just left him alone, you're probably looking at a average to above average center for the next 4 years, which is better than the Giants have had in a very long time. I'm going back to Sean O'Hara at this point. But listen, if he shores up a couple of things, things go right with how he's developed, he could end up being a nice Pro Bowl guy, and he's here for 8 to 10 years, maybe. Who knows? But it's just one of those slam dunk picks that made sense, and A plus, whatever you want to give Shane at that point. He knocked it out of the park with pick 57. And then this is where things start to get a little hairy. The Giants clearly needed a wide receiver at this point. They brought in a bunch of guys. They were targeting a bunch of guys, and the Giants move up. They trade their 4th round pick to go get Jalin Hyatt, wide receiver at Tennessee. It's just an absolute speedster, man. Just an absolute speedster. He, if I think he had the fastest timed miles per hour in a game last year, 24 miles per hour. I mean, you can't even fathom how fast that is. He's got the things that you can't teach. Easy speed and playmaking ability. He gets confident deep He can catch the ball. He's not the biggest guy, but he's consistently open and separating. He's a separator. When you got that kind of speed, it's easy. 15 touchdowns last year, 67 catches, 1,200 yards. There's knocks on him. Listen, he ran a limited route tree at Tennessee. It's one of those air raid systems where he had free releases all the time. They just ran him on go routes, 9 routes, just simple stuff. But you know what? He wasn't asked to do more because he was really good at what he fucking did. He was really good at what he did. So why would you do anything different if you're Tennessee? Had he stayed in school for another year, maybe he refines his route tree. Maybe he runs more slants. Maybe he runs more outs. Just because he didn't do it doesn't mean he can't do it. And this is one of those situations where you're trusting your scouts. You're trusting them to evaluate and project that he can eventually do a couple things. Because, in third round, and trading what they did to get him, I think it was pick 89 and 128, you foresee that guy being your future for 4 to 5 plus years. And he has that freakish talent that you can't teach, and you get good coaching around him, and who knows, sky's the limit for the kind of guy like this. And you know what? The limited route tree, does it really affect him year 1 and year 2? You want that guy to be the star right off the bat, of course. But maybe you just send him on go routes and fly routes and easy slants, and just easy routes, because you know what? We have a pretty stacked wide receiver room, and not in terms of talent per se, but in terms of solid vets that we're expecting to play over Hyatt at this point. So, feed him easy, nice and easy the first year. Give him his deep routes, give him his curl routes, and let him develop the rest of his route tree. And year 2, maybe you see him explode and do more things in a route tree. He learns the offense more. It's almost a redshirt year with playing. If he can get you 3-4 touchdowns this year, 300-400 yards in limited role, why the fuck not? It takes the top off the defense. It gives Saquon Barkley more room to run. It gives Waller more room to run, and everybody else in between. Stretching the defense is what you want. And it to me, this seems like a Dable and Kafka pick, just like Wan'Dale Robinson was last year. There's some people that question the size, question the fit. But you know what? Robinson was just starting to come into his own, and you saw the game that put him out for the season. He had about 13 targets, 9 catches, 100+ yards, a touchdown, and you started to see, hey, this is why they drafted him. They know what they're doing with this guy. So run crosses with Hyatt, run deep bombs, let him stretch the field, and do what he does best. And I trust that Kafka and Schoen can coach him up and to do what he does best, at least for the year 1. And another point to this, sure, he's tough. There's another knock that he's not going to get through the press in the NFL, which is fair knock. He's doesn't have much strength. He bulked up to 190. He played at 175 last year at Tennessee. Do you want him bulking up to 190? I don't know. We'll see how the speed is affected. He seems like an easy runner. Like I said, I don't think it's going to affect it too much. But year 1, he's not going to be facing these CB1s, these stout, press man guys that are going to just lock people up. He's not facing those guys year 1. He's not getting that kind of respect. He's not going to get those kind of snaps. He will get that respect if he starts exploding on a field. But right off the bat, year 1, and maybe not even year 2, he's not going to face these CB1s. He might not even face CB2s in this case. There's plenty of people that are lined up in front of him. And next year, if the Giants do decide to go get their alpha wide receiver, that alpha is going to be taken out on the CB1 of the other team. Somebody else like a Hodgins or somebody else maybe gets pushed down and takes on the CB2. And Hyatt could be seeing CB3s, the team's third best cornerback for 2 years possibly, unless he starts exploding, which is a good thing. So this whole notion that press coverage he might not work out in the NFL, I don't think it's going to be a big issue in the first year or 2. Once he progresses, and we'll see, it might be a big issue once he starts getting big time snaps. But The comps are Deshaun Jackson, Will Fuller. So just these deep threats, man. And it's nice to add this kind of piece, this dynamic weapon to an offense that was severely, severely lacking in this department last year. And they did it, man. They went out and they traded up to 73, and they got a guy that was a consensus top 50 pick for pretty much everybody. You could have not liked him in the first round because of these traits that I mentioned, which is understandable. But you have to feel a little bit better in round two if he was there, if he was the pick at 57, and to get him at 73. I mean, how? Why would you complain at that point? There's nothing to complain about. You're betting on a talent that could have gone in the first round at 73. It's a risk worth taking. Now, it hurts that we gave up a fourth round pick. Giants are probably not even on the clock yet. They had 100 picks in between the first day 3 pick and the Giants pick. I don't think Shane. I don't know if it happened yet, but I don't think Shane's gonna sit on his hands. I think he's gonna try and get back in there and get somebody else. I think that there's a lot of talent that we're going to be pissed off that we're missing out on. But maybe he sits still. Maybe he sits still, and the people that we were looking to get kind of go before we were going to get the 128th pick anyway. And you sit still, and there's tons of running back talent still left. So to move on to that next segment, day 3 picks, day 3 projections, who we like best available. There's a couple of names out there, especially at running back. You got Eric Gray, Deuce Vaughn, Abanikanda, I believe it is, from Pittsburgh, Zach Evans, Roscoe Johnson just got picked as I'm talking, Dwayne McBride, Kenny McIntosh. I've just gone through, 5-6 guys right now that have good, serious talent. There's other guys that I didn't even mention right now that are big backs that you could pick up, like a Rodriguez from Kentucky, others that I'm not even mentioning right now. But running back is a stacked position. It's got depth for days. You could find someone even with your 6th round pick at this point. So I'm praying that the Giants will get one of these guys, and maybe it's Saquon's successor, or maybe it's just his running back 2 for the time being. Whatever it is, it's a depth piece for the future and possibly someone bigger going forward. That's what I want to see get taken this round. Today. There's a couple of other guys that I kind of would like. A.T. Perry, Xavier Hutchinson. These are big wide receiver targets. Andre Iasovis, I believe, Princeton's own, Jersey represent. Ford Wheaton. Again, quarterbacks. There's quarterbacks if you want to go that route. There's some to be taken. Darius Rush, another cornerback at this point. Ringo went to the Eagles because, of course, the Eagles fucking slaying the draft as usual. What are you gonna do about the Eagles, man? What are you gonna do about them? They're just dominant. Howie Roseman's on top of his game. They got picks for days to kind of trade and get the guys they want. It's almost like you're not even competing against them because they're so far ahead of everybody right now that you're just trying to focus on your own thing. Just get better as your own team. Don't worry about the Eagles being dominant because you know what? Like I said yesterday, the rest of the NFC is also chasing this team. Possibly the rest of the NFL. They might have the best roster in the NFL, and it is what it is. So they might be chasing, but the fucking Philadelphia Eagles, aka Philadelphia Bulldogs, looking dominant. But listen, to recap it all, I said Revival. Me personally loved what Joe Schoen has done so far. Day 1, day 2, just knocking it out the park. There's a couple positions, like I said, you could shore up. Running back, there's some good. There's a couple of guards out there. There's a lot of defensive talent. The good thing is the Giants are still building up the whole roster, so they could go in a number of positions and they can get good value at several spots and build for the future. So lots of talent out there. Love what they did day 2. Joe Schoen, Brown, you're cooking. Keep cooking, boys. And we'll try and get another video, some reactions if we get anybody big tomorrow, but let's just enjoy today. Enjoy today. Let's go Rangers. New York Revival. out. We love you guys. Let's go Giants, right? Let's go Giants.
Reax, El Jefe, Mr. Glass Half Full, the revival.